Let's talk business world.
Welcome to Let's Talk Business World. I'm your host, Ron Daniel, and we have in studio today Miss Lakisha Johnson. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, cool. We're glad you're on the podcast today. And
Thank you for inviting me. That's
no
cool.
problem, no problem. We're gonna talk. We see you on Facebook Live.
Yeah, I got to put my live out there.
Yeah.
I'm always on live, so I'm putting my live out there.
That's what's up. Social media. That's what's up. Running the show. Social
It
media.
is, isn't it?
We're gonna get into this thing. Who is Lakisha Johnson?
Who is Lakisha Johnson? It's funny because I wrote a written mission statement for my life the other day just to kind of keep me centered and focused. God supremely leads who I am, but she's just being LMJ. That's what I tell everybody all the time. At the end of the day, I'm just being LMJ. I'm just uniquely me following God, doing this thing that he has me on. And it's been a journey.
Cool.
Yeah, she's just being LMJ. That's it.
Cool. Give us your your education background and your upstart and
I'm an interesting case because I come from an educated mother and an educated father, and I was raised by this wonderful single mom who always pushed education. And when I first left, I went to school on a theater and drama scholarship at the University of Central Arkansas.
Okay.
So I thought I was going to go and break big into theater, and then life changes a little bit. I had a baby at 19, came back home and went to the University of Arkansas, Little Rock for a little while, and then started working with at-risk kids. And so kind of did that for 3 years as I was finding myself. It actually took me 10 years to get my bachelor's degree.
Gotcha.
But when it happened, it happened. I always say when I got married, that's when I began to flow and everything. I think there's power. We were talking about that earlier. There's power in a couple. There's power in this marriage thing. And it's like when I got married, then I started achieving even more. So I have a bachelor's degree in sociology, a master's degree in gerontology, both from the University of Arkansas at Little Rock. And I'm everything but ABD, which is about to dissertate with a PhD from the University of North Texas in gerontology. But I kind of put that down for a second to take care of my husband when he got sick with the complications of sickle cell disease.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Jermaine.
Yes.
I've been knowing him. I tell
Long
people
time.
about time. Oh, long time. I tell you about time. He's the best way I can describe him is he's not a man's man. He's a man's
man. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
He always A1 with me. Always. But how you was talking about sickle cell? We know you work with sickle cell.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your organization and how it started and what it's doing right now.
So we started the organization in 2001. It actually started as a support group. He needed he lived with sickle cell. He needed somebody to talk to. He needed somebody else to connect to. So we started the organization as a support group. And then in 2004, we knew we wanted to meet bigger needs. And we were doing some partnership things with actually under Rocks Ministries, which is a ministry we started. And we were doing some partnership things with Arkansas Minority Health. And they came in and were like, you guys really need to incorporate. And so I had no knowledge whatsoever. Sat down. This lady sent me a copy of her 501c3 application. And I wrote our application and we submitted it in. And how I know when something is divine, it works. Our application was improved in 6 weeks.
501c3?
6 weeks.
Oh, that's low. That's
6 weeks. 6 weeks, Ron. 6 weeks. 6 weeks, our application was improved.
That's good.
6 weeks, and that doesn't happen.
That must say that's fast.
Yes.
Yeah. I've seen instances where people, fill out the 501c3.
Yes.
And they take forever to come back.
I'm telling you, 6 weeks.
Take forever.
And so we started there, and I started offering supportive services to sickle cell patients, paying bills, emergency assistance. And then one year, Jermaine was like, I want to open up a camp because their kids were going to a camp in other areas. And he was like, I want to do a camp here. And so we took about 10 campers out to the 4-H center and started this camp. Next year will be our 10th year of camp.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yep. We take about 30 kids out at camp and teach them life skills and how to better manage themselves.
That's what's up. Give us a success story with success. We know you got a lot of them. Give us like maybe one or two.
I'm probably going to tell you about Sam. He's my favorite. I need to stop calling Sam my favorite because I know we're going to have other success stories.
Gotcha.
Sam came to us being a baby, a brat. Like Sam was a brat. He was a baby. Shout out to Sam. He knows, but he is like my love. I love him like my own.
Yeah.
He didn't adjust well. He started out at camp, but he just kept going.
Yeah.
Before we knew it, Sam had graduated, went to college on a baseball scholarship, doing his thing. And even now, he's still trying to kind of find himself, but he always attributes, like, I still I'm texting him now. He like, mama. I'm like, baby. And he like, this ain't working out. And I'm like, just keep believing, stay in your course, using the principles, practicing the things that we've taught you, practicing the things your mom has taught you. And he is successfully living well with sickle cell.
Yeah.
He's successfully, we were watching him, but he was one of our babies that came through camp.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Now, sickle cell, I guess for people that's looking at this, listening to this, explain what sickle cell is, because a lot of people don't know. I'm familiar with it, but a lot of people, they just don't know what it is.
So I always like to tell people that it's this inherited genetic disorder. That's what it is. You have to
Gotcha.
inherit it. Two parents have to have a sickle cell trait
Gotcha.
to produce a baby born with the sickle cell disease. It affects, I always like to try to use layman terms, it affects your blood cells, right? And so you have a lack of oxygen in your blood cells, a lack of iron in your blood cells, thus anemia, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you can also have iron overload if you've been a chronic transfuser. But the whole thing is the lack of oxygen depletes the blood cells and they turn into this sickle shape.
Gotcha.
Well, sickle cell shaped cells don't flow through the body like normal red blood cells. And so this process just, the thing is, I always try to tell anybody it's the silent organ killer. The design of it is to take out your organs. That's the design of it. It's the design because once your organ is depleted of oxygen, whether that's your eye or whatever else, that's the problem. That's the design of it.
I guess that as far as treatment and cures, like what are some
So bone marrow transplant stem cells are the only things that we've seen that cure. There's a drug called hydroxyurea that a patient can take. Blood transfusions. Jermaine was a chronic blood transfusion, so you getting blood every few weeks to put new blood cells in your body. Or you can also do a blood exchange, which is apheresis, where they take off blood and put new blood in you. Those are some of the most effective things. But a bone marrow transplant is the only way that you can really right now be cured. And then you have to have a match. Your body has to accept it.
Gotcha.
Like I have a young lady I met not too long ago. Her body didn't accept her bone marrow transplant. It rejected it completely. So she still has sickle cell disease.
That's what's up. Well, now, let me ask you this. Social media, I'm asking this right. Sickle cell, your organization, tell everybody the name of your organization one more time.
Sickle Cell Support Services.
Support Services. How has social media, as far as getting the attention out for your organization,
So it's funny that you asked about social media.
Yeah.
I really wasn't on social media before Jermaine died.
Yeah.
Very little.
Yeah.
Like I hated social media.
Me too.
Because and it's funny because as personal as I am in so many things, because I do this thing called Coffee and Conversation, because I share my testimony, people assume I'm very public.
Okay.
And I'm not. I'm very private.
Gotcha.
I'm very private. And so social media pushed me out my comfort zone. I also have some introvert tendencies. Like I'm not good at working the room. I'm getting better about that. Like I have some introvert tendencies. So social media was a way for me to tell our story, to tell sickle cell story, and to just get it out in front of people who like the comfort of having their telephone. Like I was cool with using emails and sending out postcards.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But you can do so much. Like I got a fundraiser going on right now.
Yeah.
I'm over halfway to my goal just by social media. I could send this out via text or in an email and I probably wouldn't get the response I've gotten on social media. So I'm definitely understanding how social media works. You can run a business on social media. I've seen it. You can start a business on social media. I think the thing is keeping balance on social media. Like a lot of times when I shut my phone off, people think I'm back on Facebook and I'm not. Like I don't touch it again until I know I've got a notification for something or somebody has messaged me, because it's also a lot for me like I can get I can go get oversaturated with too much going on. So I don't like that. So I have to unplug for it. Like
Yeah.
I have to unplug from it and say, okay, I'll touch it again later tonight, or we'll
Mhm.
pick it up again in the morning. But it's definitely, if it used wisely, social media is going to do exactly what it needs to do for
That's
you.
right.
But see, I also know some tricks and tips to social media
Mhm.
and marketing and some other things.
Mhm.
So how you skillfully use social media, like a lot of people don't know what someone taught me, like through some classes. So how you market yourself and use social media is also whether or not social media is going to be effective for you.
That's right. That's right. Coffee and conversations.
Yeah, coffee and conversations. What about coffee and conversations?
Tell us what it's all about.
So Coffee and Conversations comes under something called LMJ Ministries. Jermaine and
Gotcha.
I started Rocks Ministries, and
Mhm.
LMJ Ministries is just what God gave me. Coffee and Conversations actually for me started as a joke. Not as a joke. Like God had me just coming on Facebook randomly sharing personal moments in my life. It was hard. Like when I tell you it's hard, like
Yeah.
people think Coffee and Conversations is easy. It's not. People think telling my testimony is easy. It's not. When the Lord said go live and make your
Yeah.
life public, I was like, I'm not doing
I
this.
don't
I don't
want to
need
do
people
that.
in my business. And so Coffee and Conversations became this daily devotional
Mhm.
where we just take this walk with God, and where I was
Mhm.
just talking with God. And he just told me to get out there, share the word, be transparent, and he do the rest. And I'm seeing him do the rest. And
Yeah.
with it came something called Pillow Talk.
Okay.
Pillow Talk is for women by women.
Mhm.
And it's a big party time where pillow talk is the intimate time you and your wife have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pillow talk is this intimate time where women, there's no makeup, there's no put on. We
Mhm.
just we sitting on our pillows in the circle, or we engaged in such a place
Mhm.
where you get to be transparent. You get to take all the mask off. You get to take everything off and just be at the bare of you and share what's in your heart.
Mhm.
And then I just minister to them and share. I got Pillow Talk coming up October 13th through the 15th. It's a weekend edition in Hot Springs. And we just gonna love on the women this weekend. I got some people who are gonna come in and they're gonna do some certain and some special things for them. So
Gotcha. Who are as far as coffee and conversation, like how often like is it daily?
Monday through Saturday, Monday through
Gotcha.
Friday, I do
Gotcha.
a daily devotion at 5 a.m.
Gotcha.
And then Saturday, I hit the streets. So Saturday, I do interviews. And I did my very first interview 2 weeks ago. It was my mom. It was really dope. And I just talked to people about, I'm probably going to get you and T in there. I know I'm going to get you and T in there
Yeah.
because I either invade your kitchen or we can meet at the coffee shop. And I just talk to people about your life
Yeah.
and what your journey's been like with God and what you have
Yeah.
going on. Because a lot of times we think God's supposed to look this certain kind of way, right?
That's right.
And he didn't look a certain kind of way. We know you the pastor of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? That's how I met you. When I first met you, when I first met you, we were sitting at a
Yeah.
table at Longley,
It sure
trying
was.
to teach them that hip hop wasn't the devil,
Yeah.
and what new culture was. And so I just it's just there. It's this thing, and Pillow
Yeah.
Talk is this thing, and it's all just came out of, I guess, what I was purposed to do,
Mhm.
because it was not comfortable, but it didn't occur until this shift occurred. Once I lost Jermaine, then all this other stuff started coming out of
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. That's I know we was talking earlier about how, when God do one thing, and I'm gonna say this too before we get to the next question. A lot of people gonna see this and hear this on SoundCloud and YouTube, but we try to uh, add God to the conversation.
Yeah.
For y'all looking, we try to add him to the conversation because without him we nothing.
Yep.
We just
Yep.
here floating around and we
Yep.
don't have. But now we're talking about God. How has God? We talked about coffee and conversations, Sickle
Yeah.
organization, and Pillow Talk. The
Yeah.
events coming up. But how has He just led you to doing everything? How give you the balance to handle everything?
It's funny because I'm called the balance queen. And here
Gotcha.
is how. A lot of people think I'm so busy. I was at first, I was scattered everywhere.
Yeah.
And then God has positioned people in my life. I believe in having a mentor, and I have a couple of them. I've had other people that have divinely spoken my life at the right time, like this man named A.D. Washington. He's with the Little Rock Pro Duffers, but he was with RCA and MCA Records.
Yeah.
And I picked up my first golf tournament right before Jermaine died, and he said, Lakisha, I want to give you some wisdom. He said, teach people what you do. You're trying to do too much. He said, so you need to groom somebody else to do what you do so you can take some of that off your plate. So that was one. I started training other people and letting other people become involved in this. But in that, you also know you have to let them make mistakes, even though, and that's sometimes hard when something is your baby.
That's right. That's right.
But it's necessary for you to be able to tap into other things. Two, God has taught me about organizations. I run a very tight ship, and it's a joke in my family. My schedule is my schedule. I'm very protective of my time.
Right.
I'm very protective of my schedule. But I also get up at 3:30 in the morning because that's my meditation and prayer time. And then I transition into coffee and conversations. Then I got 2 little boys at home. I have 5 sons, but I got 2 little guys that are 12 and 7 still at home. And I have to get them up and get ready for the day. But it's definitely been keeping him centered. It's definitely been keeping him where I meditate on him. It's definitely been where I've made the decision to keep him first in everything. And he talks to you. He'll lead you. He gives you confirmation. He'll say, when I started Coffee and Conversations, it was after Pillow Talk, you know? And then he was like, this is what we're going to do. And I was like, I'm not getting up in the morning talking to people about God.
5 o'clock.
It's 5 o'clock. And let me tell you something. I tried to do it at 7 and it didn't work.
Yeah.
And he had told me 5. And I'm going to make up my own time.
Yeah.
I'm going to do 7 because that seemed more comfortable.
Yeah.
He said, I said 5. And do you know in the morning there are so many people that log on and watch this thing with me because there becomes a hunger for the word. And so he's been my ability to keep this all balanced. And when I get off balance, he'll pull me back in. He's like, girl, get yourself right on back in here. You know what I'm saying? Get yourself right back on in here and preface. And as I found out for sure, if I keep him first in everything, everything else begins to unfold.
That's right. That's right.
Everything else unfolds.
That's right.
But I have to keep him centered and be the first. I can't let anything ever shift, not even my kids.
Yeah.
And you know, that's hard. Like, we mothers
real.
love hard.
Yeah.
But nothing shifts before him.
That's real. That's real. Let me ask you this. Everything you got going on, with everything you got going on, we were just talking about how God plays a factor in what you're doing. What would you tell somebody? They looking at this right now. They saying, you know what? I'm doing something, but I feel like quitting. You know, I don't want to do this no more. Yeah, God told me to do whatever, but I don't feel like doing this no more. What would you tell them to encourage them to continue to do what God's telling them to do? But with their business, with their organization, with their church.
Like, don't give up because you just one moment. Like I taught on that one morning. You just one moment. You just one moment.
Exactly.
You just one moment from your miracle.
Exactly.
You just like one moment. Like no matter what it feels like, you're one moment from your miracle. And when he's uniquely designed you for something, he'll put it. I mean, I'm the same with relationships. You just one moment from your miracle in relationships. Don't give up yet because it doesn't look perfect. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Same thing if a person starts a business or a nonprofit organization. Our organization looked like jumbled mess first. And then we started taking classes and we started getting more skills and we started doing more things. But you're just one moment. And if you know that God told you to do something, he's not going to speak twice.
Yeah.
So if he told you to do it the first time, go ahead and do it then.
That's right. That's right.
Because he told you to do that for a reason.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like he told you to do that for a reason. Stay and then do it uniquely how he told you to do. Like I'm girly, but I'm a little rough around the edges. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got on J's today. I got on, I don't have on J's. I got on Coles. I know I got on Cole home. People laugh at me because I usually have 2 phones and I'm always like, yeah, one for the plug. I'm a little different. I'm like, yeah, I got 2 phones, one for the plug. And God is my only plug. But the whole point is uniquely continue to do this business and don't give up. You're just one moment. You're just one moment and keep your ear to him because he'll tell you when to shift and when to do this and this. And then if somebody is not a believer, still don't give up. Even if somebody didn't believe in God, like don't give up on your dream. If something is inside you and that's a desire and it keeps stirring up and you can't keep abandoning, you can't walk away from it, don't give up on that. And then tap into your resources. A lot of time we're tapped out because we haven't tapped in.
That's true.
We haven't tapped into the people around us. We haven't tapped into the resources around us. We haven't tapped into people who have the necessary things. We're struggling because we keep trying to do this on our own. But there's somebody that's standing there that has what you need.
Yeah.
You know that. You've been married. Same thing in a marriage. It's the same thing in other partnerships. In a marriage, you know that there is somebody else. You tap into T when you don't have the skill set for it. It's the same thing around here. You got to tap into what you need.
That's right.
You got to tap into what you need.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So hopefully that whoever looking at this, hopefully that encourage y'all, man, because this time we living in, a lot of people are giving up on their dreams.
Yep.
They have this dream and once they start working and putting it out there, they just start giving up. They say, hey, it's taking too long to happen, or the way they value success. What's success to you?
Success for me is different.
Okay. Because the reason why I say that, because a lot of people, they look at, I got a pile of money.
Yeah, no,
That's
and to
success.
me, success isn't measured by tangibles. For me,
Yeah.
you're successful when you leave a legacy and an inheritance for the next generation.
Good answer.
You're successful when
Yeah.
you leave an inheritance and a legacy for the next generation.
Yeah.
That's when you're successful.
Yeah.
When you can say, like I told some people the other day, I said, if you ever want to figure out where you like at, go write your own obituary. And success to me is when you fulfill, when you're chasing your dreams, when you're pursuing what God told you, and when you're not harnessing in your energy. So my son, my oldest son, you know who he is, because you put him on stage. I'll never forget that first time you put him on stage to rap.
He was scared.
He was so scared.
I said, man,
but that scared kid right now, he has YouTube videos with over 100,000 views,
right. That's right.
and so he's not traditional, but he went to school and got a bachelor's degree in English Lit. He was working on his master's degree, and he was like, Mama, this ain't it. Like, I want to do this, but I want to do music.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, you need to do what's inside of you. Because if you do anything that's outside of you, if you just try to make this up, you try to fake this out, you're going to come to a place where you're not going to feel satisfied.
That's right.
I remember reading something about a woman in a Fortune. She was CEO of a Fortune 500 club, business or something to that fact. But this article was so important because she was on the cover of the magazine with this pottery. She quit her 6-figure job
to start a pottery business.
Yeah, because that's what was in her heart.
Yeah.
She always wanted to get in pottery. She said she never felt complete. She never felt more successful because she was doing what she really wanted to do, what she desired, and what was inside of her.
And a lot of people do that. They do what's for comfort.
Yes. Because it feels good.
Yeah, I got a check
Yes.
every 2 weeks or every week. When I tell people all the time, if you don't pursue what God put a gift in everybody.
Everybody.
If you believe, you not believe, you got
yes,
a gift.
Everybody got a gift.
And if you decide to go to school and be a lawyer,
yes,
but you want to bake cakes,
yes,
you're gonna be burnt out soon.
Yeah, the law is only going to work for so long. Exactly. Like I'm watching your wife, who is amazing in the community, but all of this, how healthy eating has developed.
Yeah.
And I know this Play the Healthy thing for her is going to take off and be even bigger, and she's going to have to tell the Clem Foundation one day, I love y'all, we'll see y'all later, because Play the Healthy is going to have such a demand on her. Yeah. But I'm watching her, like I'm watching this thing evolve. That was already in her. Yeah. That wasn't something. That wasn't an accident. See, and that's what we think sometimes. We think sometimes that this is an accident. Yeah. And it's not an accident. It's not an accident. It's not a coincidence. There's nothing coincidental. No. It's all providence.
That's right.
It's providence. Like, I want to own a coffee shop. I was sitting in a coffee shop and the man was like, anybody in here want to own a coffee shop? And I looked around, I said, yeah, me. And so then I met this amazing man who has a coffee shop, and he's been coaching me now through the process of buying a coffee shop. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's why you can't take relationships for granted. It's just we connected to people for a reason.
That's right. I like what you said about you have to you have to continue to pursue. A lot of people, they don't want to pursue. I remember when we were talking about gospel rap, and folks like, man, you rap and you doing gospel rap, and gospel rap took us all over the country, places we never been, like Las Vegas and the West Coast, East Coast, all through the South. So I thank God for just me personally showing me that a long time ago, to do it and to pursue it. Somebody right now is they kind of skeptical about Lakisha Jones. Is she doing all this? How's she doing all this? We talk about I talk about the haters all the time.
Yes,
no haters.
No,
I ain't talking to no haters. But somebody looking at this right now saying, how's she doing all this? How's she? We know she talking God, and we know she doing all this stuff. But what is? I guess what I'm leading to. What's the future for Lakisha Jones?
Because we're talking about haters, I can't share all my stuff here because there are some things that God is telling me to be quiet, but just watch out for.
Yeah, exactly.
Because when you're coupled with God and you're doing what God you can do, this is something I don't care. I believe that. Like one of my friends was like, don't share that because the devil no, he can't take nothing from me.
He can't do it.
And whatever's promised for me is for me.
That's right.
And whatever I'm telling you, I believe in that, it's going to get in line. Like whatever's promised for Lakisha is going to get in line. And so right now, I'm way more focused. But I will tell you, it takes a sacrifice and a focus.
That's right.
I will tell you, it'll put you in some lonely places, and you understand it. You'll seem like you're the only person out there doing it because people don't get what you're trying to do or don't believe what you believe in. Right. And it's not until like I was really I'm going to tell you something. Like I was really skinny and awkward in high school. Right. And then so later I developed into kind of this voluptuous woman. And so it almost be like, don't sleep on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, just don't sleep on me. Like, don't sleep on me. Don't cast me away. Don't put me aside. And then I also tell people who are hating or haters, because I don't understand that concept because I love everybody and I support. Exactly. I'm pro everybody. Anybody that's hating, it's probably because you're not doing what you want to do.
Exactly. Good answer.
Like you're probably not doing what you want to do. You're only hating, and you're probably not busy enough. You're only hating because you're not doing what you want to do. You wouldn't follow God. You wouldn't pursue God. You wouldn't do the things that you want to do. So I'm just like, don't sleep on me. You know what I'm saying? And I try to say that in humility because I love God with all my heart. But it's like, don't sleep. Like just don't watch me. Watch you.
That's right.
Like I'm big about that. That's right. Keep your eyes off me because I don't have my eyes on you.
That's right.
I'm not looking at nobody else.
That's right.
I'm no one else's competitor. I compete with only Lakisha. I don't get up in the morning and say, these are all these people here. No. Now I have some examples before me because Coffee and Conversations will turn into that Saturday talk show will turn into a talk show. God has already shown me, right? So Coffee and Conversations will be there. So I watch other people so that I can see their interview skills and those things that came from a very good friend of mine. But I'm not watching anybody else esteeming to be them ever. As a matter of fact, if I see a bad sister walk in the room, I'll be like, that's a bad sister that just walked in the room. And then I keep going on about my business. I'm not messed up if she looks prettier than me. She looks better. I just don't spend a lot of time and energy. Because here's the thing that I found. If I'm focused on you, then I'm not focused on him. I'm not hearing what he's telling me. I'm going to miss the next segment. I'm going to miss the next direction. I'm going to miss the next connection because I'm too busy hating on you.
That's right. And a lot of people, that was good. I mean, a lot of people need to hear this. And that's one thing we try to do with this podcast is not necessarily bring people on that's, they have, business and is doing so good, but just get the inside scoop of what got them to these different places in life, these different points, because it's one thing, this going to sound crazy, but I call it the racehorse concept. And they said, man, what's the race? You always talking crazy. What's the racehorse concept? I said, I don't like horse racing. That ain't my thing. Basketball, boxing, football, I watch it all day. I said, but horses on the racetrack, they got the blinders on the side of their face. Just like people never pay attention to them. The point of those is to get them from start to finish.
That's it.
If they running and they start looking to the side, like, who's this horse?
They lose momentum.
They lose and they get off course. And a lot of people, I had to learn myself years ago to just be your own competition. Don't worry about who doing this over here, that over there, what they doing over there. I don't care. People that know me know. They say, he don't care. He focus on what he's doing. Man, this is good. Let me ask you this. We only have a little more time. We talked about the future of Lakisha Jones, and I think it's gonna be. I think it's bright. You doing Pillow Talk and Sickle Cell Foundation and Coffee and Conversation. 5 o'clock in the morning, man. Y'all get up for that. 5 o'clock in the morning. I think when I get up at 5, I might crawl back in the bed.
And some people just turn it on and put it by their ear. Like I've heard people say, "I'll put it by my ear and just listening to it while I'm still there."
It's inspirational and motivational, and we need that in today's time. Well, let me ask you this. And this, I don't know if this off topic or what's wrong with our society?
Like,
right now, the hot topic is, I'm not trying to get into the political stuff. But, it's, Trump and it was a flood in Houston, just all this stuff. But what's going on society-wise?
A lack of vision.
Okay.
Like, I'm serious, a lack of vision. Like, and not, like I taught a few weeks ago about we wrestle not against principality. We're not wrestling against people. We keep focusing on people. But it's a lack of true vision for what we're supposed to do. People don't have kingdom in mind. People have this world in mind. And for us as Christians, we got to get kingdom in mind. And that was something I was going to tell you. If I'm watching you, I'm definitely not paying attention to the Holy Spirit. And he talks in a soft voice. So if I'm watching you, I'm missing the instructions that God has for me for my next life. But even if we're not saved, it's just a lack of vision, period. And a lack of compassion and empathy for people. Our communities, I tell people all the time, our communities are not as strong as they need to be because our families are weak. When you have weak families, you have
Yeah.
weak communities.
Yeah.
When you produce weak children, you send them to weak schools, and then you produce a weak society.
Yeah, that's true.
You produce a weak society that has no
true.
lack of empathy, no lack of compassion, and no concern for the next individual. But that's because we don't have a vision for where this leads. We're looking at things from this point on. And then we don't connect to people the way that we're supposed to connect. We hating on people. We mistreating people.
Yeah.
We're coveting what other people have.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to be biblical to understand this. These principles are just things that operate in every religion and every concept. But when you don't have, you got to have a vision for not just your life, but you got to also have a vision for your household. It's just like not a lack of vision. And then you got to break out the norm. We keep doing normal stuff as if it's normal and it's okay, and it's not normal.
Comfortable.
We get too comfortable and we don't want to operate outside our comfort zone. So God presents an opportunity for us and it's uncomfortable and we don't want to walk in that. So we'd rather just keep doing what we feel is comfortable and working. And he's saying to you, here, I'm giving you something that can change your life. But you won't tap into the something that can change your life because you really don't have a full vision. See, we have our vision, but we don't have that great vision for ourselves. And if you don't have the great vision for yourself, then you won't get in position and you won't get in place and become what you need to be. We are all supposed to be interconnected, interrelated, and interdependent upon each other. We should not be isolated. Isolation is a trick. If I can get you thinking me, mine, no more, then I'll get you where you won't be successful.
Right.
So then we are isolated and we isolate ourselves in our own communities. And then you got a skill set and you won't train me, apprentice me, or share it with me because you're afraid I'm going to become more successful for you.
That's right. What's the old saying? They say, I want you to do good, but not better than me.
But not better than, and we shouldn't have that mentality.
Nah.
Like I told my mom came to me one day, she said, I expect y'all to make more money than I do. She said, I expect y'all to have more money than me. I expect y'all to be in a better position than me. I told the same thing for my sons. I expect y'all to break every generational curse that was on our family. I expect y'all to go forth and do different. So I'm going to expose myself to you. I'm going to show you my weak places. I'm going to give you the things that I need. And that's the other thing. Nobody else wants to lay down themselves for anybody else. You got to lay down for somebody else so that somebody else becomes greater. I don't mind laying down.
That's right.
If I expose myself on coffee and conversations every morning and I get up at 5 in the morning and I make the sacrifice and I do it, then somebody gets healed. Somebody gets better and then they can go on and do what they need to do. Because if you're sick, you can't do what you need to do.
That's right.
If you're mentally sick, if you're spiritually sick, if you're physically sick, you can't reach what you need to do properly. Because that thing is overwhelming. But if you get healed, and that's the trick, that's the whole thing. That whatever you want to call it, the enemy, the devil, your nemesis, that thing that's trying to keep you from being great, it does not want you healed. It does not want you whole, and it does not want you free. And so if you don't have a true vision for who you are and understand who you are, you won't be what you need to be in society. We so focused on Trump and all his dysfunction. I always say if you get focused on one thing, you miss what's sliding behind the scenes that you really need to be paying attention to.
That's right.
Like you miss what's fine. It's like, so I'm looking at that. That's going to happen. I don't spend a lot of time because you better watch what bills they pass and other laws and other things that's going on that you might not be seeing.
That's right.
Because you're so focused on some foolery.
That's right. That's right. Man, this is good. Listen, we got like 3 minutes left. How can they get in contact with you?
So many ways. So if it's my nonprofit organization, if it's Sickle Cell Support Services, arscss.org.
Okay.
If it's my anything dealing with ministry, it's LakishaMJohnson.com. Both those websites have my contact information. Somebody can shoot me an email. I'm available. I come out. I do talks in the community all the time. Somebody wanted me to bring me in to speak. I also do I have another little project. It's called Yo Girl Inc. And Yo Girl Inc. provides small business solutions for churches. One of the biggest things that I'm into is curriculum development for churches, program planning for churches and small businesses and organizations. That's also found on LakishaMJohnson.com. I like to contract. I'm working on contract labor. I was teaching for the longest. I'm not teaching anymore. I'm really just focused on ministry, helping other businesses and ministries get strong because that is my gift. I want to be able to come in and make you the best business person. I want your stuff to blow up.
That's it.
Like, I want your stuff to blow up. I want your stuff to blow up. And I just want to get in and help you be the best business owner, the best pastor, the best whatever. I want your stuff to blow up so big.
And that's so rare. I was talking to a partner of mine yesterday, and that's so rare that we so focused on haters, but we not focusing on people that really want you to win.
Oh, I want you to win.
I want you to win. And people, I say that all the time. People like, man, That's I'm crazy. Crazy. I said, no, I want you to win.
Yes.
You know, I want you to succeed. If you succeed, we all succeed.
Yeah.
I can tell my daughters, hey, I know somebody that's doing it. You
Yeah.
know, and I know them person. I may know them persons. Hey,
Yeah. You can set an example.
That's right.
But also we change what looks like a barren community. You
Mhm.
change in community, you give people hope. I was homeless before. So I can tap into somebody that's homeless. You know what I'm saying? I've been in an abusive relationship before. I can tap into somebody. I'm a widow now. I can tap into somebody. I'm single. Like, it's just so many different facets of
Yeah.
things that happen in your life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not married yet. And
Yeah.
so until I get married, there's so many different things that I can tap in and that I can share with you so that you can become a more productive you. I got skills in me. I need to give those skills to you. Now you're gonna have to pay for them. That's my intellectual property. But the whole point is, I got something to make you stronger.
That's right. You got to pay with your way.
You got to pay with your way. You got to pay with your
You
way.
got to pay with your way.
Yeah.
You know, people, man, I want it for free. I said, gas ain't free.
No.
Lights ain't free.
No.
This ain't paying ain't free.
Yes.
So we got to do that. Man, this was good. Let's talk business world. Listen, we got to the end of this. With Lakisha Johnson, man, this was good. Listen, y'all subscribe to this YouTube channel. Share, comment, like, tell somebody about it. If you want to get on Let's Talk Business World, just go to letstalkbusinessworld@gmail.com. Put your information in the email. We're working on a new website. We'll have that up by October the 1st. By October the 1st, we'll have that up. But this was good. This was another podcast. Let's Talk Business World, man. I'm your host, Ron Daniel. We're going to see y'all next time.
Thanks for watching today's episode of Let's Talk Business World. To become a part of our next podcast, contact us today. Be sure to follow Let's Talk Business World on all of our social media platforms.